You like it right there, don't you? Well, I'm not sure what to do. I was setting up, getting ready for a show, and look who showed up. It's like, hello, La Gitana. So this is little Bubba. And he looks huge, you know, on the cameras and everything. But he's actually a very lean little cat. And he's sort of at the time in the evening where it's near dinner time and he needs lots of attention and he wants to know what's going on, and he kind of likes to be, you know, sort of at the center of things right now. For some reason he's adopted me to be his stepdad, and this is what it's like. Hello, Ivona. I am sharing little Bubba with everybody because he's become a part of my life. There's also Boo Boo and Bonnie. They're out there too, but little Bubba, he's a little bit more like a human being. I think he has a very, very strong Libra. He might be Libra Sun or Libra Moon or Libra Rising, but he might also be a Libra South Node, okay? Hello from Misha, Pasha, Molly, and Benny, all for black and white too. Oh my gosh, Ivona, how on earth do you tell the difference? I can tell the difference between Bubba and Boo Boo because Bubba is quite a bit bigger and he has a different mustache and different colors and patterns. But 4 of them? I don't know if I can do that. I guess you could after a while. Uh-oh. I think Bubba wants a glass of water. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Yeah, normally this is what the stage is like. Very simple, very straightforward. Everything is artisanal, handmade type of stuff, you know. I don't have a lot of fancy editors and all those things that usually go into a very dynamic, exciting YouTube channel like this. Hold on. What? No sound? What? Hold on. Okay, that should be pretty good. Looks like the sound should be good here. Huh. Can you hear me now? Oh, hey Gregory. So have a nice dinner. We'll catch up soon. No problem. Oh, it's okay now. Good. Okay. Let me just check something over here because I was on the stage. Technical problems here. I think that it should be working now. Ah, there we go. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry about that. Some of this, I'm not really, I have to use computers and stuff. And I've been using computers for a long time. And some people think I'm really good at it. But frankly, once you discover what goes on inside a computer and how they're made and what they do and how they do it, I personally feel very, very ignorant. But anyway, that's just my personal view. I'm just going to blow down the stage over here a little bit. I'm trying to blow away some of the cat hair. And now I'm going to bring up the astrodoodle for the day and go from there. This was from a few days ago. I'll just give a little bit of a catch up here for you guys. This was on the 4th, which was Sunday. Okay, and it's already Wednesday. So at that time, the moon was over here in Capricorn. Just in that very short time, the moon has already moved over here and it's into Pisces right now. Okay, it's going to be there for a couple of days and then it's going to end up in Aries. Okay, let me just bear with me. Do whatever you guys got to do. Chat amongst yourselves. Hello, Indigo. Thank you, Indigo. Wow, yay, go Indigo. I'm just going to do another Tarot Lumination Astrodoodle to get us all in tune, all on the same page, as they say. That's the hip language people use now. Okay. Artisanally crafted, handmade, small batch, non-GMO, eco-friendly Tarot Lumination Astrodoodles. And it is I'll put on the date here. I'll put the whole thing. Wednesday, 7th April 2021. It's a Tarot Lumination Astrodoodle, so hang in. Like I said, chat amongst yourselves. I'm actually considering going to a coffee store and making a whole bunch of these blank ones with the signs and the symbols, and then I can fill them in really fast. Hello, Indigo. Hello, Ivona. Have a super dinner, Gregory. Hello, La Gitana. Meow. Bubba is now parked himself on the other side of the studio here because that's what he wanted to do. So let's see, what if we got Aries? I'm just going to do the same thing I do. Taurus, Gemini. After a while you do thousands of these and you kind of do it in your sleep. I can still screw up though. It's very easy to screw up doing this stuff. I'll try not to, but you never know. Chosen by God. Hello. What a great name. Actually, you've been here before. I recognize that name. Chosen by God. Wow. There you go. By golly. And I got Sagittarius up here. And then good old Capricorn, where all the power is lying right now. Aquarius, and Pisces over here. Now, okay, let me just fill in the blanks, okay, and then we'll actually chat, have a proper conversation. I have to just bear with me while I fill it all in, okay? So we've got Pluto over here at 26 degrees, okay? And we still have Saturn, of course, here, and Jupiter over here in Aquarius. All of this is very significant for the United States. The United States has very, very important aspects in Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, Moon is over here tonight in Pisces right now. Here, I better put this Pacific Standard Time, because in Australia and New Zealand and the Asian Pacific area, it's already Thursday. In Aries, we have a stellium, and it's going to build up to a really big stellium. Okay, we've got Mercury, Chiron, Sun, and Venus. Okay, Mercury, Chiron, Sun, and Venus all piled up in Aries over here. We've got Uranus in Taurus, causing a lot of very, let's say, disruptive havoc in very deep ways. We'll talk about that in a moment. I've got the North Node over here in Gemini, and we've got Mars over here in Gemini. So, a couple of things. Let me just, there's a few hazardous things, of course. There's always hazards. What can you do? It is what it is. Sorry, I forgot to put Neptune in here. Give me a second. Neptune is where all the problems are right now, along with Pluto. Problems here, here, and here. Not so worried about this. Well, a little bit here. Anyway, give me a second. I just want to fill in the blanks a bit. Okay. And I've got Saturn hard squared with Uranus. So some of these things, of course, as you know, move very slowly, like Pluto and Neptune and Uranus. So that's why you see a lot of the sacred geometry repeating itself for days and days, weeks, months, and years at a time. But with the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, you can see the movements much more easily, especially with the Moon. So I'll get to that in just a moment. And I've got over here, and I've got over here. Actually, I should really put some nasty red in here too, but I'll put a skinny one. All right, let's leave it at that. I don't want to scare people too much. You know, I'm going to put that front and center over here. Now I'm going to drop down and I'm going to start hanging out with you guys again. So give me a second. I just want to check in before I actually go into the astrodoodle itself. Good evening and welcome. This is Tarot Illumination. It's Wednesday, 7th of April on Pacific Standard Time. Give me a second, I'm missing something. Oh, I wonder what it could be. Oh, here it is. It's my apple juice. So, I'm gonna get kind of personal here because I'm not sure what else to do at the moment. I follow the lunar patterns. Oh, it looks like I'm wearing earrings. Hold on, look at that. Yeah, I'm wearing earrings. I follow the lunar patterns because of the way I'm built. You know, some people follow Sun, Saturn. It depends what's aspected in your charts. But right now, we're heading towards the end of a lunar cycle. Lunar cycle takes 28 days, and we have exactly 13 lunar cycles in one traditional year, give or take a few hours, maybe a half a day or so. And to me, that's something very beautiful. The number 13, tridecaphobia, some people have the fear of number 13. It's an actual genuine fear. Like, you know, arachnophobia, fear of spiders or whatever. Anyway, on some big, skyscrapers, they don't even put the number 13. It goes from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 when you're going up on the elevator. I don't get it. To me, 13 is a beautiful number. Anyway, I think it's kind of beautiful the way you have this sacred geometry, where if you take a sphere, a circle, which represents the traditional, simplified Western astrology, and you chop it into 13 slices, it fits perfectly with the lunar cycles. And some cultures, they used to have, some of them still do, they run off a lunar calendar. Personally, I take the sun for granted. The sun goes up, the sun goes down. We have winter, summer, and fall and spring, and depending where you are towards the equator. But it's the lunar cycles that people feel most of all, because they are by far the fastest. Yes, we feel the sun rising and the sun setting. We feel the cold of winter and the heat of summer, things like that. But our body senses the moon more than anything else, especially someone like myself. So I have to be very careful. So today, for example, I was feeling very, very flimsy, very sensitive, very diffuse, as if I couldn't really get my bearings anywhere, doing anything for any reason. I'm perfectly aware that the world is moving on around me, and I have a list on my desk of the things that are important that have to be done, and so on and so on. But inside of me, it was just as though it's as though I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you're just kind of going for a walk or something, or you're in the grocery store, or you could be parked at a traffic light or something, and it's as though everything kind of trips out, and you kind of go off into a daydream, and you're looking around you, and you're looking at the traffic lights, you're looking at the cookies and the bread and the detergent on the grocery shelves, and you're just absorbing the energy, and the rest of existence just vaporizes into a nothing. I don't know if you've ever felt anything like that, but that's quite common for me. And then I have to come back from being totally zoned out into outer space and then come back into physical reality. Personally, I find it quite difficult. It's been a problem my whole life. Ever since I was a tiny child, I've always felt that it was very hard to navigate between the spirit realm, which to me is this delicious, vivid, never-ending movie, but which we can't really see or touch in 3 dimensions. And yet here we are in the 3-dimensional world, where we have things like, snow, salt, cold, hot, war, peace, and people interacting with each other and doing really important things. So I oscillate between those two extremes, okay? Hello, Starzy. That's how Ivona feels these days. Excuse me, I got a sniffy nose. I think it's because Bubba was on the stage earlier, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm just sharing personal things with you. I have to check the planetary alignments frequently. I check them several times a day just to keep getting my bearings, because otherwise I feel as though I'm like on a sailboat without any kind of compass or navigation system, and I've got blinders on, and I have no idea what's happening. Of course I do. I am aware, but I'm at a point in life where I need my bearings. Just like I never used to wear a watch for most of my life. And it was only when I moved to Los Angeles and I realized that I had to pay very close attention to time and timing on an earthly scale in order to meet with the incredible challenges of the movie business and the TV business, which works on very, very highly intricate schedules for timing, like when you have to arrive on the stage, when you have to check out, when you have lunch, when you have break times, and so on and so on. Anyway, so So there I was today. I went out to the cafe early, and I was in that kind of cerebral, spiritual state. I was trying to make it look like I was doing really important things, learning things about finance and checking emails from friends and family all across the world, and so on and so on. But the other part of me was literally, I was like way out in outer space. It was like I was teleported out into the universe. And I thought, oh no, blame the planets. Double check everything again. So that's what I did, and lo and behold, I realized, there it is. For me, it's so obvious, but I missed it. But it's there in plain sight. We're at the very tippy edge of the end of a lunar cycle. 28 days. We're at about day, let's say 25. And for me, I have to remind myself, typically for the last 2 or 3 days, maybe even 4 days of a lunar cycle, I can get very spacey. Or I get very kind of detached from reality, and it feels like the energy vortices in my life kind of go into hibernation. And then, of course, when the new moon comes in and picks up, it sprouts again. So farmers are aware of this cycle. The oceans and the tides are aware of this cycle. And our physical bodies are aware of it to some degree. So anyway, I was looking at the charts and I realized, oh my gosh, the moon has already gone all the way through 30 degrees of Aquarius. I thought, oh gosh, that's it. And it was a very intense period for me. And then there's another thing that happens with the movement of the planets. For me personally, it's the moon, which is very obvious, where when the moon goes over the cusp, like from Aquarius to Pisces, or Pisces to Aries, or from Aries to Taurus, I feel a shift of energy in my body. Like one energy field is kind of fading and a new energy field appears. And eventually it shows up as the experience in my life. Give me a second. And so there I was, having a sip of coffee. In a way, I was very content, even though there's some really horrible things happening in my life that I'm trying to understand and control and deal with, and it's all to do with physical reality, like, contracts, rental agreements, bad tenants, screwed up finances, and all those sorts of things. And I can see it all very plainly in the chart, but I just needed some kind of more accurate measure of why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Because I was aware that I was very disconnected. And I realized, okay, here's one thing. We're crossing from moon in Aquarius to moon in Pisces. So we're going over the 29 degree of Aquarius through the 0 point to the 1 degree of Pisces. So that's going over the cusp. All planets move around and they zoom around and they go over the cusps at some point or other. So with the lunar cycle, I thought, oh, okay, I get it. So now the moon is in Pisces. Officially, the moon is in Pisces as of right now, pretty much for the whole of planet Earth. And it's going to be there for about 2.5 days. So for myself, that is another significant placement. Again, because of the way my chart's built and so on. And so what I have to do, now that the moon is in Pisces and I'm aware of it, I know that I'm in the last basically 3 days, like 76 hours of the lunar cycle, because at the end of the moon in Pisces, we're going to move into moon in Aries. And it's going to take another day or two for the moon to conjoin the sun. So I'm going to show you on the charts now. Okay, so everything that I was just gibbering about over here concerns this point, okay? This is the cusp. This is the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. So this morning, the moon was right The moon was right here. And then through the day, it crossed through the cusp, and now the moon is here, like in 1 or 2 degrees of Pisces. And I felt it in my body. I started to become more cerebral, more, I would say, sensitized, more accepting of life in a very fluid, open, pure, loving, spiritual way, where I kind of stopped worrying about finances or corporations or the United States and all the politics and all the chaos across planet Earth, all the chaos with our global, ecosystem, fires, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, things getting really, really bizarre in climate and so on, and all the upheaval in the global financial system. I kind of went, oh well, so what? What can I do about it? All I have to learn to do is swim, and I go with it. So that's kind of where I am right now. The moon is over here in Pisces. It's going to take about 2.5 days to cross over here, and then in about 2 days, the moon is going to be conjunct the sun. So we're looking at almost 3.5, almost 4 days. So that takes us up to Sunday evening, which is going to be the 11th of April. So that's almost 4 days for the moon to go from here to here. And in that time, I am already allocating that my own personal life is going to feel very, very fragile, very sensitive, almost kind of like a flower that's wilting and fading after it's had its moment of bloom and beauty. And then it dies and everything starts all over again. So that's where we're heading. This is where we are now with the moon, but this is where we're heading. The new moon on April 11th over here. Okay, so I'll make another astro doodle on Sunday night. Okay, but for now, this is where we are. I just wanted to share the experience. Now, does anybody have any questions? I'm kind of very willing to do questions right now. I'm also very willing to do any mini readings if anybody's interested. The super chat is available. I'm giving myself a little bit of time tonight. I don't have to have dinner just yet. So if anyone's interested, there's a super chat box very close to where you type, and you can put a donation in there and you'll get a mini reading. Your name will go on the post-it note. I already owe a reading to Mona Bjerknes over in Norway, but I don't see her at the moment. Also, if anybody wants a reading tonight, right now, a live mini reading, you can donate directly to PayPal at this email. Okay, you can just, if you have your own PayPal account, you can just send PayPal money to this address. Okay. alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. Also, there is another way. Hold on. What happened? Something just happened. Okay, I don't know what it is. Oh, a flower just landed. Oh. Is that correct? Did a flower just land? Hold on. Oh, okay. Okay, well, something just arrived on my desk. Here at the desk of Tarot Illumination. Okay. Give me a second here. Okay, hold on. Here is a demonstration of a flower in bloom. Okay? It's incredible to me how you can, I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually a synthetic flower. It's a work of art, frankly, what they do and how they do it to make these things. I don't know how they do it, frankly, but they do. There is a vase on the dining room table here with some flowers in it. And those flowers were blooming somewhere in California probably about a week ago. And then they get cut and shipped. The flower industry is huge, just so that you know. And farmers and flower growers and growers of all kind of agriculture watch the moon very, very carefully. Hold on. Chosen by God. Read me. 8/18/1959. Okay. Thank you, chosen by God. Yes, we can do that. That's fine. Let me just finish my little rant there. I'm going to put up a couple of post-it notes. Ivona's going to put something through PayPal. Okay, that's great. It'll come through here. I will see it later on. Thank you, Ivona. Ivona K. All right. I know you've been through a lot recently, Ivona. And chosen by God. You're going to get a mini reading. Dollars coming in on Sunday. No problem. I'm pretty flexible. Yeah, we all have to think about cash flow. Finances, money, business. I'm learning a lot about these things myself. Wait a minute, I saw something else there, the date, okay? 8/18/1959. All right, so anyway, let me get back over here a minute. Mona Berkness, if you are out there, you're catching the video, I owe you a reading. I'm going to put the flower aside for a moment so we can see. Okay, no problem. So, right now I'm trying to make things appear as though it's very, very orderly, but in fact I'm way, way up in the clouds at the moment. I'm feeling very spacey. I actually feel kind of safe too. I feel as though I've lived through a lot. I'm one of these people, I don't know if you know other people like it, but I've lived through many lifetimes in this one lifetime. If I look at my chart, and if I was going to analyze my chart from someone else, it's a very heavily conflicted chart. It shows a lot of pain, a lot of violence, a lot of disruption. It also shows aspects of war, blood, violence, military, but in a very orderly kind of way, and trying to learn how to, let's say, get that energy under control. So, you know, I was at the donut shop the other day. I think I told Love Triber this story, and this fellow was staring in the window, and he was obviously down and out. But he came in and we had a chat, and I gave him $4. But in the chat, he was very clear, very, very pure. He was this skinny black guy with raggedy clothes, and he was a refugee from Los Angeles, kind of like myself, so I understood, I empathized. And he was from South Central neighborhood, where things, you know, there's hundreds of killings every year, but they never get on the news, because people would be too scared to come to Los Angeles if they knew how bad it really is there. Anyway, so we had a nice chat, and I was really clear with him. We were very clear with each other. He was very coherent, and he asked me if there was a church nearby, so I gave him directions to a couple of local churches. And then after I gave him the money, he looked at me and said, "You're in the military, aren't you? I can tell." And I said, "Actually, no, I'm not. I probably coulda, woulda, shoulda, but not in this lifetime. I have a feeling like He just picked up the vibrations, because I'm absolutely certain I was in the military for many lifetimes before this lifetime. And I have a very strong connection with the healing aspects of the military, especially like military doctors, or especially like this fellow I've talked about before, Scott Peck, who wrote one of the most profound books on love that I've ever encountered. I've read a lot of those books, but this one is off to the side, but it is much more accessible to myself as a person, rather than all the Zen yoga fairy dust stuff. Okay, I don't want to knock that. I love all that. I love all that. But the thing about this guy is that he touched on what love really is. And so I felt this connection with the guy. I gave him the money, and I wished him all the best, and he wished me all the best. And it was very clear, and it was very pure. And then I kind of went on my way. But I look at my chart and I can see it. And also there was this really incredible astrologer I was introduced to by Lada. Does some of you know Lada Duncheva? She's a really big deal astrologer now. She's been going at it for 7 or 8 years or something. And she's one of the biggest channels on YouTube. And we became friends. Sadly, my channel got destroyed, but her channel is blooming. I think she's still doing very well, and I haven't checked on her for a while. But she came to visit me personally, and we hung out for a day or so. She's married now with 2 little babies, and they live up in Washington State. And she's an amazing astrologer, but she kind of noticed similar things. So there are, there is a consensus, People have characters, people have nature, people have identifiers. It's either in your chart, or you can smell it, or you can sense it, or whatever. So, hold on, what's this? Love Triber is already doing a reading on you by the look of it, Chosen. Chosen, do you work in the legal system? Chosen, are you divorced or separated recently? Chosen, are you stubborn and know it? I forgot to tell you, Chosen by God, that there are other readers who hang out on this channel. So, just FYI, all right? Gosh, that apple juice is good. It has the right zing to it. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Hello, Necessary Truths. Path is there. Path is there too. What? I didn't see Path. Anyway, if you're there, Path, hello. All right, let me go back to, I need to center myself because I'm really way out in outer space at the moment. And my navigation system's going all over the place. In fact, I'm not even using a compass right now. I'm just like free falling. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's get back to center stage here. Ivona, you're going to get a mini reading. Chosen by God, you're going to get a mini reading. And thank you for your donations. Thank you for your donations. They'll show up here later on. Welcome to Love Triber. Welcome to Susan Mime. Susan Meme. And let's see. And let's go, hold on, give me a second here. I've got to do some other things. So, okay, so to get myself centered, I kind of have to focus on this for a moment to find out where I stand relative to this. Just so that I'm kind of talking to myself at this point. This aspect here with Pluto, 26 degrees Capricorn, that's an extremely intense aspect for me. It's very personal, it's very strong, it's very hard to manage or understand. It happens to be almost the identical degree of the soul of the United States. Okay? The United States was born with 27 degrees Capricorn. So I'm taking this very personally in my own personal way. The Aquarius aspects over here, I take them very personally too. The Pisces aspects, I take it very personally. Aries, it's not so defined, but it's a very powerful part of the chart where I need to focus. This aspect is very challenging for me too. And this is actually quite fun for me. So I'm trying to balance it all out, and we'll figure it out as we go along. So at this moment in time, because I love to blame it on the planets. The moon is right here in Pisces. For the next 2.5 days, the moon is going to transit through a very significant but very sensitive, very painful part of my own chart. Okay? Once it gets to Aries and it moves up to the new moon, I already know in advance that I'm going to get a kind of a lift. This is a very, very distinct pattern that I see every year, so I'm not worried about it. This part is good for me personally. All right, for example, right now, anybody who has really significant aspects with Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, and Capricorn need to pay close attention. The other signs, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, there's less pressure. The only pressure you might be feeling is much more to do with oppositions, where you have a tremendous opportunity. All the Cancerians, the Leos, the Virgos, the Libras, the Scorpios, the Sagittarians have a tremendous opportunity to grow and evolve and adapt and change and improve your life through the process of awareness that comes in relationships, the opposition energy that comes specifically in relationships. So please, just because you don't have any planets that are obviously showing up here, please don't feel that you are not being respected or regarded. There's a tremendous amount of energy coming at these signs through the opposition energies from these signs over here and these planets over here. So it's always, everything is always in a state of flux. Let's have a look. Okay, let me have a look over here. What I need right now is another beverage. Give me a second. Hold on. I'm cleaning some, my eyes are itchy now. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's have a sip of this. Sip of the good stuff. Cheers, everybody. All right. So, Leo, August. Okay. August 18th, 1959. August 18th, 1959. I'm pretty sure that you're going to have Pluto in Virgo. You got Sun close to Virgo, but yours looks like you're actually in Leo. I'm not going to go too much by the astrology, okay, chosen one? Chosen by God. But we can do, if you really want to get deep into it, we can always do, I'm always open for private consultations, okay? So, let's start with Ivona. In the meantime, chosen by God, you can keep doing your alternate reading on the side there with Love Triber over there in the chat. But right now, I'm going to focus on Ivona. And then we will come to chosen by God. Now, if there's anyone else out there who wants a mini reading, please put your deposits, your donations, either directly by PayPal to alittlebookabout@yahoo.com, or you can just go to, how do we do this? You can, here's the other way you can do it. Sorry, I should have talked about this earlier. If somebody wants to, you can also donate for a reading by going to tarotlumination.com, and you click the donate page and you come to this yellow button. And that pulls up a payment processor just like they have with YouTube and their Super Chat. But instead of YouTube taking 30%, the PayPal goes 100% to me. So obviously I prefer that. Anyway, let's go back over here. I've got to get over. Give me a second. All right, so I'm just letting everybody know. By the way, I'm aware that I'm extremely inconsistent these days with the channel. I'm also aware that there's no scheduling. I've put up very little information. I've been operating in a way that's kind of very random, almost very unprofessional. Mostly I'm going to say it's because I have things going on in my personal life that might seem very simple to other people, but they are very, very heavy and cumbersome for me. And they take up huge amounts of my energy personally, and it makes it very difficult for me to focus on the channel and the tarot illumination the way I would like to do, okay? In the meantime, I'm not dead yet, okay? So, here we go. See this one? This is over. This is history. This is now going to be filed in the history books. Watch this. That's how that goes. Do any of you remember the time when we used to have lucky draws and all those fun things where we would have dozens and dozens of contributions and donations, and then we would pick a lucky winner? Gosh, I miss those days. All right, Ivona first up. I'm going to use the Golden Tarot. And we'll do it like this. I just want to give myself a little bit of room. I know you've had a lot of ups and downs. I know you lost one of your little furry friends recently, and it's very sad. Okay? Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do, Ivona. I'm going to go completely blind. What I'm trying to do is while I'm getting into the zone here, I guess you could say, I just want to let anybody know I can handle one or two more readings tonight. Not a lot, but I could handle one or two more. So if there's anybody out there watching who would like a reading, you can donate by PayPal to alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. Use your own PayPal if you have one. If you don't have one, you can go over here, like I just explained moments ago, tarotlumination.com, donate. That's one way to do it. Or the other way is just to go to the Super Chat button, which is exactly underneath where you typed. And that'll pull up a payment processor too, okay? All right, so here we go. All right, Ivona. I hope you're all comfy and cozy, and I guess you could say recovered from the loss of your little furry friend. I mean, you probably know more than anyone because you've had so many little friends and fur babies and all over the time that we've been working together. And they come and go, you know. All right, I'm going to be going completely blind, Ivona. Chosen by God. You just can carry on with Love Driver and the other readers out there, whoever's there. I don't really know. I'm just doing a little shuffle to the last moment. We'll go from there. Okay, this is good. We're good. We're in a good spot right now. Okay, here we go. All right, what kind of messages do we have today for Ivona regarding her life, her world, her existence? We're going completely blind. Let's bless this deck, bless every single card, bless the channel, bless the platform, bless the technology, the computer codes, the softwares, all of this stuff that we do. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the weather. As you know, Ivona, because you've been here plenty of times, I often use this energy here in reference to the planets. I see it as the surrounding energy. It's impersonal. It's neither good, it's not bad. It just is what it is, and it's a question of how do we deal with it? How do we navigate? Hello, Sarah, I see you. How do we navigate? Because, you know, the planets are always shifting. They're always moving around in a state of perpetual motion. It never stops. At least in human time. Of course, over hundreds of billions of years, things will change. The planets will change, the solar system will change. But for right now, in terms of human experience, the planets are highly, highly predictable, highly precisely accurate in their pathways and what they do and how they do them. And it's just a question, it's up to us, Ivona, how we deal with the energy. For example, before I even pull your card, this is a piece of what I call sacred geometry. The planets are lined up in the heavens exactly as I've illustrated here in the chart. Question is, how are you going to deal with that in your life right now at this moment? Nothing matters before, nothing what matters what after. What matters is right now. So what now? What now? What now? Human beings, after you get to the age of 14 or so, or let's say 21 or older, or maybe 30 or older, you start to realize that life has this spectrum. You start to get this vivid awareness that there's a past, a present, and a future. And we're oscillating in between. We're constantly oscillating. And what a lot of people do is they do anything and everything they can to avoid being present here in the now. They saturate themselves in entertainment or activities to avoid being fully conscious in the now. They can dwell on the past or they can fantasize about the future, but they will do almost anything to avoid being present in the now, because being present in the now means having to be completely open with conscious awareness, kind of like this, and then being fully ready and prepared to accept everything exactly as it is, for what it is. The cold, not the cold, but the stark truth, the stark reality. However bad things are, that's how they are. However good things are, that's how they are. Question is, what does this mean for you? What is your role? How are you navigating? Okay, so I've got, look at this, Ace of Cups. Okay, Ivona, my feeling with the Ace of Cups here is that this is something to do with the new moon. The new moon is coming up. I'm sensing the new moon already days in advance. You're already a very sensitive person. So what I'm sensing here for you is that this is kind of like an alert. Alert, 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 alert. Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups. This is a golden opportunity for increased levels of the healing power of love to flow into your life from up above. Okay? I know that sounds really wishy-washy and kind of, escapist, esoteric stuff. I don't know, Sylvia Brown or James Van Praagh or something, whatever. They're all amazing people. But I'm trying to get in terms with reality here. When I see the Ace of Cups here for you, what I'm sensing is that this is a chance. We're getting prepped up right now. This is a chance, a moment, just a moment in time, maybe like a week or 10 days or almost 2 weeks of time frame for you, where you can take advantage of the planets and the way they are right now, especially the lunar cycle, where you can, I would say, kind of go into this very, very hypersensitive state of awareness, so that you can get really tuned into the present, into the now, and then recalibrate yourself, your heart, and your soul at the deepest level to be tuned in to basically the golden opportunity to accept the increase of the healing power of love that is available to you if you choose to do so, if you choose to accept. And then the energy flows. It might be disorienting, it might be scary, because it requires a lot of surrender to just blindly and openly accept the healing power of love and let that take you where it is best for you. So I would use one of my little, I guess, mantras or something like this for you. Ivona, it's like you just have to do it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, but something like this. Staring at the mirror, I am worthy, I am deserving, I am open to receive. I am ready, I am willing, I am able to receive the healing power of love into my life from up above. So it is spoken, so it is done. Okay? I would recommend that 3 times in a row. Maybe in the next few days, in the next couple of days, before the new moon kicks in, just kind of recite that to yourself. It doesn't have to have any sense of meaning or purpose. You don't have to force it. All I'm suggesting is just recite it to yourself. Preferably in front of a mirror. It doesn't have to be in front of a mirror, but I am worthy, I am deserving, I am open to receive. I am ready, I am willing, I am able to receive the healing power of love into my life from up above. So it is spoken, so it is done. And then just walk away and start to live your life. You can keep repeating it to yourself, and that will amplify the energy. But what that's doing is that you're making a deliberate commitment to allow yourself to be calibrated by, I would say, by the influence of the planets in a way that's most beneficial for you, by allowing that to happen, rather than subjecting yourself or being a victim of the ego. Okay? So let me get back to your reading. Hello, JS. Hello, JS. Yes, Love Triber does readings too. They're very, very different from what I do, but they are readings. All right, so Ivona, this is a card of sacred opportunity. You don't have to do anything that I mentioned or suggested, but it is there for you. It's a question of, it's up to you to grab it and capture it. You don't even have to know. You don't even have to be fully aware. All you have to do is kind of take my word for it that that energy field is there for you. So it's just a question of taking advantage of it, which means deliberate conscious tuning into it, like I just described. All right, here's the situation. Okay, so with the Five of Pentacles, some people see this as a card of impoverishment in some way, shape, or form. Now with Pentacles, because it's to do with three-dimensional physical reality, you might be feeling that in your physical life, for example. Impoverishment of relationship, impoverishment of finances, impoverishment of physical circumstances that give you the feeling that basically things could be better. Like, oh my gosh, what have I done with all my resources in my life? Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. What? You might get a kind of an experience where you start to look, I mean, there are no retrograde planets at this time right now in the basic planets, but when it comes to the fixed stars and some of the asteroids and so on, there are probably going to be different energies going on that I don't usually talk about here on the channel because I'm not educated enough. But what I'm sensing here for you is the Five of Pentacles is that once you open up the heart center, it allows you to deal with the physical realities of your life, where you can accept and understand that you have great bounty, okay? There's 5 beautiful, delicious, rich, extremely valuable pentacles here, okay? The question is accessibility, availability. What decisions have I made in my life that led to impoverishment. And especially when it comes to relationship dynamics. Who have I shared my life with? How have I shared with them? How have they shared with me in such ways that turned out to be less than enjoyable? But to me, this looks like an assessment. It's like an assessment, like an evaluation, because I don't see you being crippled or debilitated or financially destroyed by any of this. What I see here is more to do with an awareness, like it's time to look at your life from the healing perspective, letting everything flow into your life. You know, you have a life, you have a world, you have a degree of abundance. In some ways, you're much better off than millions of people on the planet. In some ways, you are suffering compared to millions of people on the planet. Either way, it is a continuum, in and out. And it's important to understand your place, know your place in this. Like, how did I get to be who I am, where I am, where I am, why I am, the way I am today? What decisions did I make in the relationships in my life? What are the most important relationships that I had in my life that led to things that didn't work out for me, like physically and financially, materially, and so on? Because that needs to be examined. It's better to be aware of this rather than pretend it never happened. Like when people have really like challenging or sad or depressing experiences in their life regarding relationships and how it affected your material abundance. Like, oh my God, did I marry the right person? Oh my God, did I invest with the right bank broker, blah, blah, thingy, Wall Street, whatever. Oh my God, what, all those kinds of things. Then it's a coming to awareness. But you can grow through this. You can learn from understanding what doesn't work. I relate to this card very profoundly, Ivona, because I know I have a tremendous amount of experience about what does not work in love and relationships and how that impacts your physical reality, like your finances, like mortgages, car payments, investments, your standard of living, your retirement, your savings, all those things. I'm aware of all of that, Ivona, so that's why I understand this, and I'm hoping you understand it for yourself. What's the problem here? Okay, more pentacles. This feels like a deep fear. Am I ever going to have a chance to, I don't know, recapture my glory days of wealth, abundance, finance, stability, security, long-term future retirement, and so on and so on? Am I ever going to have that chance? Remember, this is a card of sacred opportunity. Okay, so if you're feeling that, this could almost feel like it's very depressing, like how can I possibly catch up or repair whatever damage I've had to endure in my life regarding my finances? Is there any hope for me? Am I ever going to find a way to come out of this? Okay, that's understandable, okay? Give me a second. But remember, Ivona, this card is very much about fear. False evidence appearing real. So, to me it feels like we need a serious reality check here. On the one side, of course, you have to be aware about all of your financial, material, physical challenges. Health, welfare, savings accounts, investments, property, real estate, bank accounts, debts, credit cards, or whatever. All of those physical things about your financial, worldly reality. The home, second mortgages, first mortgage, all those kinds of things. You have to be aware of that. And if there's any hint that things are challenging, then it needs to be brought into full consciousness, full awareness, because you've got two aces here. The way I see it is that no matter how bad things are for you, Ivona, you still have to kind of like twist things around and remind yourself how incredibly lucky you are, how incredibly blessed you are, just so long as you are aware of it. And it's literally out there. Now, I would say, like, if the Four of Cups was here or the Four of Pentacles, that would explain all of this into one card. But we're not seeing that. What I'm sensing is that it's a question of perspective. Yes, there might be all sorts of, financial challenges, material challenges, the things I mentioned: health, welfare, long-term retirement, savings, assets, all those things. How do we keep going? How do we keep going? How are we going to keep going? How are we going to turn this around into something like a golden opportunity? Oh my God. Okay? Alright, so let's have a look how we're going to deal with this. Holy jeez. Okay. So we got the Star card here. To me, it feels like this is kind of a big warm hug, and it's just simply up to me. Okay, this is the Star. This is the card that represents hope, aspirations, the potential for good, the potential for good things to flow into your life, at the same time with not having any explanation or understanding or reason. It's almost like, I am guided, I am protected, I am guided, I am protected. So, Ivona, you're one of these really like super soft, sensitive, very caring people. You can't help it. That's just who you are. That's how you are. That's what you do. And you deserve to be like how Bubba was at the very beginning of the video. You deserve a bit of comfort and TLC, tender loving care, for yourself. And it's a balancing act. So what I'm seeing here with the card of hope, well, I guess we could put it that there, the Star card, the card of hope, is that it's like my job here tonight is simply to remind you that you're a very, very lucky person. It might not show exactly in the physical circumstances the way you would like them to be ideally right now, but at the fundamental core, you are truly blessed. You are truly, truly blessed. And on top of that, you are guided and you are protected. And really this whole reading is just simply a reminder. It's just literally like, it's just for me to remind you, knock, knock, dunk, 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 Ivona. Yeah, you might have some really serious issues, financially, physically, houses, more, whatever that is. Sure, we all have problems. Dunk, 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 dunk. But you also have to remember that you are very fortunate. You've got these two aces here for you. They're just literally there. The aces are sacred opportunity. You don't have to accept it. It's just there. It's right there for you, and it's up to you to grab it and utilize it and make the most of it. The chances are, like someone else who had this reading, if they weren't self-aware in the way that you are, those aces would just vaporize like they were never there. Okay? But I know that you understand what I'm talking about. It might be something very simple, very, very subtle, but you understand what I'm talking about with these aces. It's an awareness that you are blessed, you are very fortunate, you have that energy of sacred opportunity on your side, and it's just a question of awareness. it's also a question of like surrendering how to this like sublime understanding that you are guided and you are protected, even though there might be times when you feel like you are abandoned and you are vulnerable and nobody knows and nobody cares. Okay? Okay. I hope that helped you. Ivona, there's your reading. Thank you very much. Bless you. You've been such a good supporter over these years. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to clear the decks now. I'm going to check in with everybody. Hold on. Let me catch up. I'm just seeing things. Hello, Melissa Lawrence. Hello, Susan Mime. I made a donation on your website. Okay, hold on. Let me just double check. Because, okay, so Ivona, you just had your reading. And up next, we have Chosen by God. Give me a second, Chosen by God. I just need to check up something here. Clickety click. I gotta click a few buttons. Go over here. Oh, okay. Whoa, Gregory donated. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Oh man, I got a reading. I got Gregory here. Hold on. I thought Gregory went out for dinner. Mr. Ross. Thank you, sir. I saw that. Give me a second, everybody. I'm still checking in with all the donation stuff here. I didn't see all this. Okay, I've got yours. I see that, Ivona. Thank you very, very much. And I got another one here. This is from, hold on, Susan. Okay, Susan. I got yours, Susan. I see it. Thank you very much. Super duper. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me get back to the show itself so I can see what we're doing here. And I'll go over to that. And there's another one from Melissa, Super Chat. Hold on. So okay, give me a second. I wasn't expecting things to be so busy. So I got one from Susan. Where is that one? Susan. Okay. Thank you, Susan. And we just got one from Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. I don't know if this is going to fit. Let me just move these up a little bit. There we go. Something like that. That's all. I won't be able to take any more tonight. I don't think I could handle it. I see your note there, JS. A nice malefic Capricorn ruling your 6th house. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. All right, let me go over here. All right, next up we have Chosen by God. All right, so I'll put Gregory over here. Gregory's out for dinner, so I might end up giving him a blind reading, and he'll get it after the show's over. All right, we got Chosen by God, then Gregory, then Susan, then Melissa. Thank you very much. I'm just going to shuffle up, so everybody just chillax amongst yourselves, share your stories amongst yourselves, and so on. Chosen by God, Moon in Aquarius for you. Really? Oh. I think I'll be able to cope. We'll see how it goes. Susan, if you're tired too and you need to hang out, I could do the reading and you can come see it later. Let me see how things are going. If we have to, if I end up totally wiped out, then yeah, I might take you up on that. But at least you would have one in the bank. You'd be good to go. Thanks, Susan. All right, Chosen by God, August 18th, 1959. So that looks to me like Pluto in Virgo, Sun in Leo, very close to the cusp, heading towards Virgo. I think you said Moon in Aquarius. I don't have the time to pull up all the charts and everything for you, Chosen. So I'm going to, literally what I'm going to do, take this into account. I'm going to ask that this reading includes the energy displayed to me here. I'm not going to analyze it, but it's going to be factored into the reading. It's going to be a totally blind reading, okay? Honestly, people, whoever watched this, some of you have been here for years with me, but sometimes blind readings are the best ones that you can get because it comes from completely out of the blue and you never know what the subject is going to be, but you can guarantee a blind reading is going to help you to focus on that which you need to focus on right now. No matter what else is going on, no matter how old you are, how much history you have with good things and bad things, whatever is actually concerning you in your brain right now, the reading will take you to the very heart center where things are most, let's say, where the real action lives. Oh, you've got your chart. That's very good, Chosen by God. If you've got your own chart and you already have some awareness, that's really great. I love, by the way, Chosen by God, or anyone else who's listening, I still do bookings, private one-on-ones. Again, it's the same thing. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things here. Is when you go to the... Oh, man, it's all messed up. Give me a second. Hold on, where am I all messed up and why and how? Okay, there we are. Okay, that's better. Clickety-click, clickety-click. So, like if anybody really wants to get into it, you can go to tarotlumination.com, the website that you can see here, and it says readings. You can click that page and you can book a full-blown reading. And we can really get into it. We can take our time. Everything's recorded. And we meet on the personal, private Tarot Illumination Zoom platform. It's really awesome. It's a lot of fun. I've dealt with everything. I mean, the worst possible, hideous, frightening, terrifying things you can imagine. But also some of it is just very, very gentle fine-tuning. Either way, it's a reading. Okay, let's go over here. So I just wanted to mention that. Oh, hey, Chosen by God, personal website info, it's really simple. tarotlumination.com. That's it. You can figure it out from there. tarotlumination.com. I love doing these things. I've done thousands of readings, literally thousands of readings for people all across the world. Some of you might have noticed that I've done very little of my Wednesday shows where I talk about my personal views, like with politics and economics and finance and stuff. And I've kind of shied away from doing it recently because I'm scared. I'm really scared of what's happening in America and the world right now. But that doesn't stop us doing this, what we're doing here, because this is really good, sweet, loving, wholesome stuff, okay? Alright, so here, let's have a look. Oh, Chosen by God. You're here right now. Just hang in. Do whatever you like, but I mean, I'm just going to let you know, Chosen by God, that I guess you could say I'm moody. Things flow up and down, but for right now, I am totally in the zone as much as I can be, as much as... but I'm also aware that there's other stuff going on, and what I do is I trust. I simply abandon myself to the process. I completely and utterly surrender to the process where I guess you could say the ego or myself, it doesn't really exist anymore. And we just get to the point where I'm connecting with you as an energy field, you're connecting with me as an energy field. And somehow or other, it seems to work like magic in what we call tarot readings. Here's the situation. Actually, you know what? I'm going to shuffle a little bit more and cut again. Thank you, Ivona. Yes, I have a lot of pent-up ranting inside of me. And what I've noticed is almost every channel that I enjoy on YouTube, they're sort of on my wavelength, and most of them have been either shut down or blocked or punished in the same way that my channel suffers. So it's really tough. JF needs 20 minutes of TL a day. Daily doses. Wow. Wow. No one's ever said that to me before. Thank you, JS. I mean, I could do it. That's what I have with that little channel. Theoretically, I've started a new channel, but I haven't done anything yet. It's called The Daily Transit. The whole idea of 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, I could do that. I could actually do that. I had to set up a schedule, like noon every day, Pacific time or something. We'll see. All right, chosen by God, let's get on with it. This is all about you right now. Okay, just to let you know, chosen by God, things are very jovial over here right now. I had what I would call an intervention from my invisible friends, where they're trying to intervene. They're trying to say, like, hey, we know you're having a super time right now, but you need to concentrate, TL, okay? Just letting you know. Yeah. TikTok. Really, Sarah? I'm scared of TikTok. I'm scared of TikTok. Apparently it's a Chinese-owned company, and that scares me. All right, JS. Okay, I see your point. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. Chosen by God. Let's bless this card, bless this deck, bless every single card, bless the channel and all the technology. We did that already, but I'm doing it again. Here's the situation. Here's how we're going to handle it. Sorry, here's the problems, and here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the sacred geometry for you. All right, here we go. Wow. Okay. To me, this feels like a huge question mark. We've got the Queen of Cups here. And it's a very beautiful energy, as you can see, as you can feel. Okay, so it's chosen by God. The thing is, like, with great power comes great responsibility. And this kind of power is to do with the healing power of love. Understanding what is love. What exactly is love? How do you define it? What does it mean for you in your life? In other words, if you were in some kind of like spiritual study class right now, and the guru teacher said, "Dear chosen by God, in a few sentences, how would you define love?" And you kind of go, well, it's like, I don't know. I'm not, no, hold on. Hold on. I got something. So that's why we're getting this reading from Tarot Illumination. My feeling is that you're already kind of what I guess you could call like spiritually advanced being and all of that kind of stuff, and you allow for the magic and the mystery of tarot and astrology, but you get to a point where like, now, I'm chosen by God. I'm already kind of like as ascended as I can be. So what do I do now? And it's almost like being the energy of a leader. Imagine it's the energy of a leader, and you realize like, my gosh, this is actually kind of important. Like, some leaders are born into leadership, like the British monarchy and so on. And leadership just falls to them, and then they figure it out as they go. But in the United States, leadership, as in the presidencies, it is a fiercely contested battle. Now, it looks to me that you're naturally born for leadership in terms of being a natural born conduit for the healing power of love. But the question is, it looks to me here that it's just a natural thing for you, but we need to get to the point where it's about refinement. What does this really mean for you in your life? How are you going to conduct your life going forward now that you are fully aware of your own awesomeness and you start to realize, my gosh, it's actually really important. When you are an instrument of the healing power of love, it kind of trumps everything else in your life, and you have to prioritize that energy, and then everything else is kind of put to the side. But then you get to the position like, well, what does that look like going forward? Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's have a look. Here's the situation. Okay. The reason I'm laughing is because with the Page of Swords here, to me it feels like if you really felt you had the nerve, if you were really completely and utterly self-confident, and you weren't worried about tarot readings, and you weren't questioning yourself, or you didn't have any doubts about what life looks like going forward, forget about the past, forget about the future. What about now? It looks to me like with the Page of Swords here, it's time to realize that you are kind of like a truth caller, a whistleblower, and it's like it's time for you to step up and speak out and call out the facts, the truth, the reality of your life and your world around you, rather than, let's just say, staying wrapped up in a blanket or enjoying whatever kind of coziness or success or comfort that you have in your life already. It looks to me that right now you have a lot of pent-up, I don't know what's the word, pent-up issues that need to be addressed, need to be spoken, need to be brought to the surface for clarification and reality checking. You know, people believe what they want to believe, but there's a difference between subjective truth and universal truth. And it's time, to me it feels like right now it's time for you to get into this new, let's you know, because you've got this Leo energy here, let's take advantage of the Aries new moon coming up. It's time for you to get in alignment with yourself, where you, what I would say is take advantage of your abundance, whatever gifts that you have, and focus them into the reality of like, well, what does this look like for me? It looks like I'm going to have to get really clear and precise about who I am, what I'm doing here, why I'm doing it, and especially if it means voicing your opinions and speaking up and standing up for yourself and not backing down because of the sometimes the discomfort that comes from being a truth teller. Okay? This is a bit of a rebellious energy. And if somehow or other inside of you, you've got kind of a secret rebel that is screaming to bust out, then that's what I think is happening here. Something like that. So what's the problem? I would say comfort. Okay? With the Nine of Cups here, we have a problem. To me, it looks like one of the problems is that you're kind of in this place where you've probably already done a lot of homework on yourself. You might be in some position in life where, yeah, you've got your hardships. You've got all sorts of challenges like everyone else, but in certain other aspects, you have a degree of coziness and comfort that a lot of other people would wish for, okay? So the question is, again, with all that abundance, especially in terms of the healing power of love, what are you supposed to do with that? It's not supposed to be something that you just gorge on for yourself. It is something that needs to be shared and disseminated and taught, like with teaching. To me, it looks like teaching. And with the Nine of Cups here, to me it feels as though like, oh my God, if I actually take action on the stuff that Tarot Illumination is talking about over here, and I start to rise up, I start to act out my more rebellious side, all the things that I've, tucked away or hidden away because I don't want to deal with the inconvenience of being outspoken or speaking my truth, because that will disrupt my comfort in life. That's kind of what it looks like here. So with the Nine of Cups, it's just like, my God, why on earth would I want to throw away all the good, sweet things I have in life in order to speak my truth, speak the facts, speak about universal truth, and put it out there, and really, really put it out there. I am exposing myself to criticism, to analysis, to rejection. And that leads to potential discomfort. Oh no. What am I going to... Oh, hey, look, I just saw it. You're writing a book. Okay. Well, that's very much... It might be like a truth-telling. It might be like, it's time for you to get this out of you. It's time for you to speak your truth. Call it out for what it is. Okay, let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this going forward? Okay, you have a lot of cups in this reading chosen by God. So it feels to me like you have to go forward no matter what. No matter how uncomfortable things might get for you, no matter how your personal life, the coziness of your personal life is disrupted, you have to go forward anyway. And in some ways, your natural gifts, your natural abundance are going to act as a cushion. It's like you're going to be protected anyway. So to me it feels like, don't worry about, what it's like to put yourself out there, fear of rejection and all that. Sure, there's going to be people who are going to look at your work and your book and go like, so what? Or, oh God, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Or, oh, she's too up in the cloud. Whatever it is. There's no point in living your life in fear of the discomfort. You have to go forward, because it looks to me like what needs to happen here is that you have to express in some ways like, oh man, it's like, what is the true meaning of love? Okay? How do I bring it forward in my life so it is front and center in my life? In which case, how are you, the reader, going to bring it forward in your life? To me, it looks like there's a bit of teaching that's going on here. I'm not saying it's an instructional book or anything, because now that I've seen that thing about your book, that makes a lot of sense here. So my feeling is that in order to deal with whatever fears that you have about the discomfort of declaring and exposing yourself in writing and publishing, you do it anyway. You just do it anyway. It's like it's your job. It's your duty. It's your responsibility, no matter what. And you have to do it with courage and self-assurance and confidence, no matter what. No matter what. There is meaning and purpose to all of this. Even if it's just for yourself to write the book and publish it. If you're going to do self-publishing on Amazon or some of those Lulu places or whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is to write it and publish it, and don't apologize. Especially if the book touches a nerve and triggers things in people and sparks people and awakens people about what is love, what does it really mean, how are they going to carry it forward, bring it forward, manifest it in their lives. Okay? And really, this should be a lot of fun. It should be fun, it should be satisfying, it should be rewarding. And it's almost like it's the best way to go forward is to consider yourself that you are literally chosen. It is your chosen mission to do this. You have chosen to be here in this lifetime to be an instrument of the healing power of love. You might not have been fully sure about what that looked like, but now after this reading, there is no doubt. It's very clear. You have to write this book. You have to express yourself. You have to call out truth. You have to call out universal truth, and you have to identify subjective truth so that people understand that there is a difference between your opinion about what love is and what love really is in terms of facts and truth, universal truth, because there's a big difference. So I'm hoping this reading makes sense to you, chosen by God, and that you are the one who can put and discern those differences between subjective truth, universal truth, subjective love, universal love. It has to be condensed, squashed in such a way that it is digestible by the masses. You can do this. You can do this for sure. Okay? All right, what I'm going to... Gregory's out to dinner, so I'm going to read for Susan. Are you still here, Susan? Susan, are you still here? If so, I'm just going to dive straight into your reading. All right? And I'll do Gregory later. I might do Gregory last, actually, because if he's out for dinner, it's not going to... He doesn't have to see it right now. I just got to shuffle up, so give me a few moments, chat amongst yourselves. Susan, are you still here? Oh yeah, there. I see you on the chat. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, there's usually like 20 seconds up to a minute delay on these live stream shows. Chosen, this is the Golden Universal. This is the Golden Universal. Okay? Alright, so Susan, I can't remember if you put any notes earlier. I love doing blind readings, but if you're really like obsessed about something in particular right now, very concerned about something, please help yourself and type it in one word. Like for example, what messages do you have here for me tonight, Terra Illumination, regarding the subject of ... That could be like, I don't know, children, finance, health, retirement, school, education, family, relationships, love, tragedy, whatever it is. If you have one key word, you're welcome to put that in. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and go blind. Okay? Cards are nicely shuffled now, so we're good to go. I'm just going to keep an eye on the chat in case Susan pops in with something. I'll go blind for reading. I don't mind at all. Going to cut it up. I'm still keeping an eye on the screen. Don't worry. Open. Okay, great. That gives me lots of room. Thank you very much. You know what I have to do? I have to top up my beverage in a minute. I'll do that after your reading, okay, Susan? All right, Susan. Interesting. Susan, I don't promote myself as a psychic medium or anything, because most of the people who do that, when they do mediumship, they're dealing with people who've already passed over from this physical life. But what often happens here is I get it all from both sides, past lives, present and future. So sometimes I get impressions from people who've passed away, people who have been here before, or people who are even here right now. Honestly, it's just, you know, the big famous professional mediums, they deal mostly with, they make it, they're like a really narrow focus where I'm only going to read for people who've passed over, and I'm going to look in the audience, and there's you, I see someone on your left shoulder, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. We get that here, but also there's present time. The energy of mediumship is identical in the now. Okay. So the point I'm trying to get at is that as soon as I started to like focus on you, even though I don't know you personally, and I saw your name there and I looked at my post-it note, I kept thinking like, there's this part of you which is, I'm not going to say sad or, what's the word? Give me a second. Okay, everything's unfrozen now. Give me another second. What I felt is that hold on. Ay. Okay. I don't know why it's still going or not, but give me a second. Froze. Okay, I'm having a technical difficulty right now, Susan. Totally, what the bleep is going on? Okay, I have no idea what's happening right now. Technical stuff. I am going to close this off. Give me a second, please, Susan. There's some kind of technical, I don't know what going on here with my transmissions. Give me a second. Give me a second, please. Alright, so I'm going to... how do we do this? What is going on here? Hold on. Sorry, there's some very weird stuff happening here. I just want to double check some things. Okay, so I don't know what that is. Very strange. Give me a second. I'm trying to adjust a few things. I'll be back with you in a moment here if I can. It's very strange. I've never encountered this problem before. It's some kind of weird technical thing. I'm going to try something else. This really does. Wow, this is really weird. It's very disorienting. Hold on, I have to double check with the channel now itself. Duh, weird. I've never dealt with this problem before. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to here. Let me just check the stage. Yeah, the stage is still good. Let me just check my website. That's still good. Okay, let me just check my own. Let's just do the. Alright, so. Okay. Looks like you can hear me and see me. Okay, so that's something. There's still something wrong, but we're good enough to keep going. So let me get back to your reading, okay? Sorry, Susan, I have no idea what happened there. I mean, I have a really good computer, but frankly, doing what I do, even in my simplest way, it takes a lot of power, and it puts all the computer systems and the softwares and the programs up to their maximum ability. Now, we shuffled a lot already, but I got distracted there, so I'm going to keep going. Susan, what I was trying to say earlier, it felt very kind of awkward and a little bit sensitive, where there's a part of you that I picked up here as though it was mediumship, but it's in mediumship in real time, where there's a part of you which is hurting really badly deep inside, but you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to deal with it. It's like that energy. If I ignore it, it'll just go away. Or I hope that if I ignore it, it'll just go away. But here in this reading, to me, I'm sensing that you're kind of opening up a little bit with admitting, like, actually, hey, Tarot Illumination, I can't ignore this, and it's not going away, whatever it is. I don't know. But, you know, I talk about this all the time on the channel. You've got to reveal it to heal it. If you ignore a problem, or you bury a problem, or you're not aware of a problem, it cannot be healed. So let me just finish this one more little shuffle. And then we can get back to your reading, okay? Hello, Suerte Abad. Alright, I'm going to do this now. Let's bless this deck. Bless every single card. Bless you, Susan. Thank you for being here. Thank you for kindness and generosity. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather for you. So I've got the Four of Cups. To me, this is like a telltale sign. When I see the Four of Cups, I often talk about a concept which is really nothing to do with the Four of Cups itself, but it's more to do with universal energy. Think about this statement, okay, Susan? Energy flows where attention goes, okay? Energy flows where attention goes. Think about that very, very carefully. Now, can you see how that statement is relevant to the Four of Cups? So, if you're in a stage of life right now, which I'm feeling very strongly, where there is a lot of woe is me, to me it feels like you're overwhelmed. The way the planets are right now, you're in a place, whether you know it or not, or whether you can help it or not, you're overwhelmed by things that you can't control, mostly from the past, where it's to do with, like, when you look back at your life, like, if only this, if only I'd done this, if only I'd said that, if only I'd met this, if only my mom and dad that, if only my lovers, relationships, partnerships did, if only. I put so much love in, I shared so much love. I was loving, I was loved, I was loving, I was loved, but still things went wrong, okay? And it can be it's not a crippling energy, but it's the energy of, like, a very soft, subtle misery, which you could say is just more or less like sadness. And then that sadness engulfs you, and it becomes almost like a sense of identity. Like, anyone who looks at you, they would say, "Oh, there's Susan. That's the sad person." Yeah. You would be identified as someone who's sad and lost. Okay? Simply because that's the energy that you're radiating. But you have to understand, you have choices, you have power. What are you going to do with your energy? Energy flows where attention goes. So if you wanted to, you could realign yourself with the little miniature Ace of Cups right here. Okay? And you realize, whoa, wait a minute. I'm consumed by everything that's not working. I'm consumed by my losses, my failures, my grievings, my tragedies, my sadness, to the point where it's become my identity. This has to stop. And then when it stops, like, oh, where do I go now? What am I supposed to do if my identity is completely defined by everything that didn't work? Oh no. Well, you do have a choice. It's a card of Satan. It's like a miniature, tiny Ace of Cups. It's right there for you. Energy flows where attention goes. If you refocus your energy deliberately, now that's where it gets tricky, because we have to deal with this thing that I call energy management. I can't handle that on this show tonight right now. If you want to work with me in person, I'd be very happy to do that. Energy management is a very specific thing. It sounds very diffuse the way I'm describing it, but it's a way that you can recalibrate, reclaim your power so that you're not a victim of feelings of failure, of loss, of the past. What's the situation? Okay, with the 7 here, this is the Chariot. It's a really powerful card of direction, of focusing of energy. To me, it tells me that it's really, really important. I mean, this is going to sound kind of blunt, that you get your life together. And it's also about that you want to get your life together, where it's really important to understand that it's almost like everything is energy fields. Like you're swimming in energy fields. Like, here we go. This is an energy field here. All these planets, the way they are aligned right now, they exert an energy field all over planet Earth, to the whole of planet Earth, and down to every single individual. And how you are born with your particular chart will give us an indication of how your energy field responds to this energy. Now, there's a difference between responding and reacting. Okay? You have to understand, if you're reacting to energy out there, and the planets are very challenging for you with aspects and so on, you could be very easy to fall into the trap of sadness and woe is me. On the other hand, if you realize that it's just energy, like, how am I going to make the best of it? That's a totally different story. And what it's telling you is that if you don't start to learn or study or understand the concept of where energy flows where attention goes, unless you have a full, firm understanding of this universal law, then you end up constantly being a victim of your own misery. And so you flip that around. It's another way of saying, like, oh my God, I really have to get my freaking life together. And that isn't like all of a sudden I have to be really successful and famous and rich. It's more about just a shift in attitude where you focus on the good things, focus on the love that's there, and how do you optimize that, and how do I heal the things that feel so painful in such a way that the wounds can heal and you can like literally start to own your life again and get it back together. It looks to me like it's a really important issue for you, and you know it is already before we even started the reading. You just needed someone to kind of reflect that back to you. I think you already understand fully what I'm talking about. What's the problem here? Okay, to me it feels like it's feeling like really loss of sense of direction, passion, drive, ambition. Like, well, okay, Tarot Illumination, it's great for you to give me this reading with these two cards so far, but what does that actually look like? Exactly where do I focus my energy? What is my energy? Where do I focus that? Where does my energy come from? Where does it go? How do I find the passion to reactivate myself so that I can get my life back together? It's a serious issue. Like the Ace of the Page of Wands here is a really youthful, dynamic, courageous energy about making powerful decisions to go forward into the destiny of your future without actually knowing where it's going to go. You just go anyway. But it looks like this is a deep fear of making those initial steps. So how are we going to go forward? This might seem like, for other people looking at it, they might like Susan, it's easy. Just get your act together, man. Just, woman, just, you'll be fine. But for you, Susan, you might be one of these people like, hey, everyone else who's not me, you have no idea how hard it is to be me right now. Susan, I'm a perfectly decent person, but to get my life together in the way that Tarot Illumination is talking about here, it's a serious issue. I really have challenges in terms of direction, my compass. Where am I going? What am I supposed to do? If I don't have an immediate answer, that's a problem. You know you have the problem. You know you have to get this stuff taken care of, but without any definition, it's really hard to do that. How are we going to move forward here? Okay, to me, oh God. Okay, this is very self-serving, Susan, but it feels to me like you need an intuitive, psychic kind of Tarot Illumination reading. I know it sounds like I'm trying to sell you the Tarot Illumination package deal. It's not a package deal, it's just like a full-blown reading, because that's what I do on this channel. Ultimately, this channel is about doing deep dive personal readings with individuals all across the world. So with the High Priestess here, the way to move forward is to understand that there are things going on in your life, in your world right now, that are literally invisible to you, like secret to you, unobtainable to you, but you have to discover, you have to become aware that there are layers of existence, layers of awareness, and whatever you need to know will be revealed to you when you need to know it, not before, not after. Now, if you want to, just take this reading for as it is and what it is, and just keep going forward and pray for divine guidance. Pray for the healing power of love to help you and give you some kind of guidance and some kind of direction so that you're not lost in the wilderness. The thing is with the high priestess, to me it's almost like a double message here. You need to discover what you need to discover, because what you need to know is actually hidden from you. It's secret to you right now, and we need to get access to that world, and whatever you need to know needs to be revealed to you so that you can move forward and live on, okay? But it's very, very hard to do. We're talking about the veil, okay? The veil to the great beyond. The veil into the world of mystery. That's how I see this reading, okay, Susan? You can go forward. You can go forward with things just as they are right now, so long as you take into account a few things. Understand, energy flows where attention goes. If you ignore that universal law, then you're going to be in trouble. You already know you've got to get your life together, because it might be very diffuse right now. It might feel there's all sorts of things that you don't know that you need to know. Okay? So we can get into that. If you're suffering from loss of direction, lack of ambition, completely feeling like I literally don't know what to do, TL, I don't know what to do, I don't know where, I don't even have a clue how to do this, then there is a way to deal with it, but it requires looking beyond the veil, okay? I hope that helps you, Susan. I'm available, tarotlumination.com. Okay, next up, Gregory. This is going to be a blind reading. Gregory's out there having dinner somewhere with his buddies. After Gregory, we're going to read from Melissa. Okay, I'm going to put a little tune on right now. And I'm going to refill one of my beverages, and I'll be right back. I'm going to play I Am Guided. I hope it works. All this stuff is so complicated. I don't have, some of my favorite YouTube channels, they have 200,000 subscribers, 500,000, and they're making huge amounts of money. So the channel person, they can afford their editors and their fancy softwares and all of that. And I try to do what I can from here. Anyway, I am... Okay, I'm waiting for this to show up. See if we... Okay, here we go. Let's try this. So let's see if this works. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. When the light of hope it fades, when all faith is blown away, when all sense of trust goes down, when a smile turns into frown, when it feels there's no relief, nothing in which to believe, desperate in woe and grief, angels come reminding me, I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. Angels gather close to me, show me what I cannot see. Angels take me by the hand, lift me when I cannot stand. Angels lead me through the dark, soothe and tend a broken heart, laughing at the circumstance, crying while we sing and dance. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. Alrighty, so I just got my refill. Hey Path, good evening. Yep, energy flows where attention goes. It sounds so simple when I say it like that, but it's a whole other thing, you know, living it out in your life. And you realize, oh my God, what does that actually mean? Holy bleep. All right, Mr. Russ, this is for you for later on. It's going to be a blind reading. Some of you know Gregory. He's been with the channel since the early days. All the ups and all the downs. The channel is still here. It's amazing that this channel even exists at all anymore. But, well, we're still here. We're holding on by a thread. Gregory is a very spiritual man. He can't help himself. That's just how he is. Sometimes people who've chosen a very spiritual life, it can include a lot of pain that doesn't make any sense. Because the people who've chosen, let's say, a highly spiritual life where they come in as some sort of, you know, high frequency healer of some kind, they often come across people in situations where there is no justice, there is no compensation. And it's like, what's the point of being loving and caring, of providing the healing power of love, where there's nothing in it for me? Okay? So Gregory has a little bit of that in him, okay? Yes, thank you, Path, I do, yes. Whereas, like, when there's a couple of people I admire, especially one person I admire. His name is James von Prague. He's a really big deal energy healer, I think from the 90s and the 2000s. And he was a television executive producer. And we do basically the same stuff here, but he's worth millions. He wrote his books, and he tunes into the healing power of love, and he provides his service for people. And he's been extremely well rewarded. The thing is, I can remember years ago, I met James von Prague personally, and we were kind of like, we didn't really chat, it was just only for a few minutes. And I think he sensed the kind of person that I am, and I already knew the kind of person he was. And literally, when we physically became closer together, and I was in very close proximity to his energy field, he understood me. He understood that I sensed what was happening in him. And what I sensed what was happening in James is that he was in a lot of pain because he had reached a point in his life where he doesn't matter anymore. The wishes of his ego, the wishes of whatever it is to be James, it doesn't matter anymore. He realized that he incarnated a person who has dedicated their physical three-dimensional life to be an instrument of the healing power of love. And that took him into fame and glory and money. But it also took him into a world where he was surrounded by people who recognized his value, and they turned his life into a very lucrative financial machine for their benefit. And of course he benefited too, but it really hurt him deep inside. Like, how did I get to this point where, like, I am the famous James von Praagh, but what about me, James von Praagh? That doesn't matter anymore. All that counts is the world famous James von Praagh, psychic medium, book writer, healer, television producer, teacher. And when he looked at me and I looked at him, he looked at me and he just spontaneously started crying, because I think he felt like, I don't have a life. My life isn't about me anymore. My life is just like, I'm just a thing. I'm just an instrument. And all these business people figured it out. And they've exploited it and they've turned it into this multi-million-dollar enterprise. And I kind of don't really care. And that was heartbreaking for him. On the other hand, I observed him years later, and he got over it, and he just simply accepted the fact that he doesn't really exist as James von Praagh, the ego. It doesn't exist. He is literally James von Praagh, the healer, psychic medium, the successful guide, and everything. And the reason I'm talking about this is because people who inadvertently or deliberately go on a path of wanting to be a spiritual healer type person, a lot of times they think, oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to set up my yoga school. I'm going to be a guru. I'm going to make money. It's going to be fantastic. And then they start to realize, like, oh my God, I didn't realize what it actually means to be an instrument of the healing power of love. Like for a lot of alternative healers, there is no glory, there is no money, there is no recognition, there's nothing. It's literally just like being a volunteer in a refugee camp. You just give everything that you can and you get nothing at the end of it. So it's a different spectrum. There's the invisible healers who get nothing, and then there's the highly visible healers who are highly rewarded. But those highly rewarded healers, I think, they give a source of light and direction to other healers who make them, it brings other healers into the fold, into the community of global international healers. And you have to set aside the desires or the hopes and aspirations of the ego. I have met some very capable people who basically did everything they could to exploit the world of the healing power of love for their own aggrandizement, for their own glorification, where it wasn't really about actually being a healer anymore for the people. It was all about being a rich and famous, glorious spiritual healer. And there's something very not quite right about that. Anyway. Here we go. Gregory, what's up? Cards are already shuffled, but I'm going to go again so that we have a nice pristine deck. Go from here. Thank you, all you kind people, for your donations. That's what's keeping me alive right now. Here we go. Let's have a look. This is going to be completely wild, but Gregory, you have to understand, when I do this reading, it is going to be influenced by the history of the work that we've done together already. Cheers, Mr. Ross. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather, how it works for you. So I've got the King of Pentacles. All right. To me, this feels like it's a very loud message. It's time, Gregory, to put all other considerations aside and focus on the financials. Focus very closely on the physical realities of your life, your world, your friends, your family, your relationship, your assets, your resources, your banking, your talents, your gifts, and how to optimize that. Number 2, it also feels like a message that you need to be recognized and understood and, let's just say, celebrated as a master. Somehow or other, to some degree, in your own way, you have achieved a degree of mastery when it comes to money, finances, physical reality. Number 3, and if you are not there yet, if you're not feeling that, then you need to feel that and understand that this is part of your nature and you're growing into it, okay? And perhaps in some very painful, uncomfortable ways. The King of Pentacles did not come into their wealth and their abundance and stability and security and their mastery as a trust fund baby, spoon-fed. This is very hard earned. Okay? It just needs to be acknowledged and recognized. Okay, let's have a look. What's the situation? Okay, Pentacles again. So I think we're dealing with money here. Assets, resources. I know we've talked about this before. Family assets, family resources, conflict in the family, family resources. And it looks to me like the Four of Pentacles, look at the expression, it's kind of mean, but on a broader perspective, when I see the Four of Pentacles, it's very much a power card. It's about, to me it feels like the message here is like, okay, if anyone or everyone else out there sees you as obsessed about money or control with money, that's their problem. It looks to me like what's really important right now is that you really do focus on money, finances, stability, security, building foundations for the future by accessing whatever is available to you in the present and built up from the past, inheritances, resources, whatever it might be, your job, your career, your whatever it is, your savings, and you kind of coalesce or look at everything. It's almost like I feel like I'm being a financial advisor right now. Of course I'm not, so don't take anything what I say about money as absolute truth. But what it's telling me is that the situation right now is you need to take a really good, absolutely clear, sober look at your finances right now from every aspect and do whatever you can to line things up for the long term in terms of stability. Okay? This is very much about building foundations for the future, securing your future, stabilizing your existing assets and resources of all kinds, and lining them up in a way that will endure the pressures of time, such that however much interference you might experience from the outside, you are kind of indestructible. There's different decks that have different images. One of them is about like creating a castle with a moat around it. It's kind of an old-fashioned way of dealing with things, but that's what I think is kind of happening here with you. It's really important to consolidate your finance, consolidate your resources, your talents, your gifts, and really just literally lock it in for the long term. Okay, what's the challenges here? Okay, so there's a big fight going on. To me, okay, with the, like, it's the ego versus the soul here. There's a part of you, to me it feels like the challenge is that you understand what I'm talking about here. You understand the relevance to you in the reading. But the question is, how do we actually do this? Because the things that you know that you have to do, that you're capable of doing, require having to do things that are very, let's say, spiritually demanding, and that really seriously challenge the ego. I'm saying this because I know you've got issues going along with family and so on, conflict within the family, and how do you do it? The challenge is that, like, how do you deal, like, if you're, like, I'm superimposing previous readings and energies on top of this one. Forgive me. But you already know that your ego, as Gregory Ross, is taken to the absolute extreme limits with having to deal with these people. Okay? And yet you are being charged with having to be spiritually understanding, like, well, this is how it is. Okay, and I have to find a way to rise above it, which means putting aside the demands and the raging of the needs of your ego, and somehow or other sublimate that energy into some kind of spiritual understanding that supersedes the needs and the desires and the compulsions of the ego. It's very hard to do. You know this, I know this. We've had readings before, so I think you know what we're talking about here. But it has to be done. It's really, really hard. To me, it almost looks like going to war. Like this, like, it's like what you would like to do right now is literally just rip everything to shreds, go to war with the oppressors, the individuals, anyone and everything that is out of alignment with what is good. But that takes it from the perspective of the ego. And then you have to kind of realize, like, oh my God, if I go to them the way that they're going at me, that means I'm getting dragged down into the pit of ego more than ever before. And that just makes it harder. In other words, it's sort of like I'm not allowed to take the bait. Even though it's almost like you're getting baited to the point of intense infuriation. All you want to do is revenge, backlash, proving that you're right, and so on. And yet, we all know here that all that stuff is futile. And somehow or other you have to rise above it, because there is a learning experience here. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to move forward? Okay, so with the Eight of Pentacles, it looks like it's a labor of love. Love as measured in pentacles, one day at a time. This looks very demanding and very tedious to me. It's just like every day. Sorry, Gregory, let me do this. It feels to me like every day, every freaking day, I have to go inside myself as Gregory Ross, and I have to completely suppress my egoic needs, to which I am perfectly entitled, in order to accommodate the spiritual dimensions of this situation. Do you have any idea how hard this is for anybody? And so when I see the Eight of Pentacles here, to me it feels like the way to handle it is, Gregory, is one day at a time. You cannot solve these problems like that. just because you want to, just because your ego would like to. Like, for example, it will be just so much easier to just take a gun and shoot these people, get them out of the way, be done with it, be happy. It's very hard to do that without ending up in trouble yourself. So you end up having to deal with these enraging, infuriating situations and energies that are not, you didn't create them. It's not your fault. You're just there in the energy field. And so the Eight of Pentacles, to me, it tells me like you just have, it's the way to handle it is every day wake up like, okay, I'm a very lucky man, I'm a very wealthy man, I'm a very blessed man, I'm a very happy man. I have all these amazing things. I'm okay. I'm really, really okay. Yes, my ego is enraged with these people. I can't solve this overnight. So dear guardians, dear invisible friends, please help me to get through one day at a time, incrementally, in a very, let's say, measurable, physical, material way, so that I can get through this day to get to the next day. Basically, slicing the problem into little chunks. Because the ego couldn't handle it. So the only way to handle it is just slice the challenges, slice the outrage, the enragement, put it into little chunks, and I'm just going to deal with one little chunk at a time, and I'm going to put the pentacles there. The pentacles, to me, looks like literally like your gas tank on your car. Like, I can afford to expend this much energy today in the form of the healing power of love to deal with these people in this situation. So I'm going to burn that energy, I'm going to expend that energy, and I'm not going to expend any more or any less, but I'm going to do what I have to do to get done what has to be done. And then I'm going to detach. I'm going to sleep another night, wake another day, and I'm going to do the same thing the next day. I'm going to slice up my problems into little chunks, and I'm going to apply actual measurable evidence of the healing power of love at one at a time, one day at a time. Some days it might not feel like anything. Some days it might turn into weeks where the best thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Or maybe the best thing you can do, the most loving thing you can do, is to call somebody out and do exactly what has to be done in accordance with spirit, with universal law. And then you do that. Nothing more and nothing less. So everything is incremental. You move forward, you deal with it, you move forward. And yeah, it might not be very satisfying for the ego, but it does take care of business. And eventually, slowly, one step at a time, you start to create order and structure and stability. Okay? I hope that makes sense for you. It's almost like being on the path of mastery. Towards abundance, towards stability. Again, remember, the King of Pentacles didn't just arrive there by birth. The King of Pentacles knows anything and everything about what does not work in the world of finance and abundance. And they are also aware of what does work. And it looks to me from the reading here that neither side of the journey is necessarily comfortable. It is just a journey, and this is what it takes to deal with physical reality, especially when it comes to money. Okay? You can do this, Gregory, all right? You got it. You can do this. You can handle it. A lot of emphasis on money and finances, okay? You can do it. Melissa, are you still here? Hello, Queen of Water. Greetings to Australia. Melissa, are you still here? Oh, look, I just saw the note there from Suerte Abad. Thank you for saying my name right. Where are you? Where are you, Suerte? You gotta be here somewhere. Type it in the screen, let us know, okay? Hello, Melissa, I see you. Got it. Okay, let's get on with your reading. Cheers, Melissa. Thank you. Hey Melissa, I'll do a completely blind reading if you want. On the other hand, if you're like obsessed about a certain issue right now and you can't take your mind off it and you want to put one word in there, blind would be fine. Yes, okay, yes. Wow, you guys have been so awesome tonight. Giving me permission to do blind readings is to me like the sign of ultimate respect, okay? Liana Ramrasingh. Oh no, Lena Ramrasingh. Lena, hello Lena, welcome to Tarot Illumination. Hello, I am new subscriber. Can you see reconciliation with my husband, please? Okay, so Liana, what we do here is these are like donation mini readings. I was just coming up here tonight to hang out with people, but I did offer readings, and this is how I take care of myself. I do these readings and I accept donations, and that's how I live my life. So if you would like a reading, Lena, there's different ways. Actually, you know what, Lena? I'm not going to be able to handle it tonight, if I'm honest with you. Okay, so Lena, after Melissa's reading, I think I'm just going to wrap it up for the night. If you really... Okay, let's put it this way. Hold on. God, jeez. Hold on. Okay, Lena. So, I do readings by donation. You can donate through the super chat. It's a little box button underneath where you do your typing for the chat. And it has a $sign. You click that box and it opens up a payment processor. You can swipe your debit card into your information, and then it comes here. And then YouTube takes about 30%. If you want to, if you're really, really keen and really determined, if you have your own PayPal account, you can just send money to alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. Or if you want to, you can do this. Oh, sorry, not this one. Oh, I'm going to go to my browser over here. You can go to tarotlumination.com and you can donate. Also, if we don't do this tonight, you can go to tarotlumination.com and you can click that page where it says readings, and you can book a private reading. Okay? There you go. So, I hope that helps. All right. Also, Lena, I want to let you know that people do ask all sorts of questions. There's a certain... Lena, hold on. Give me Lena. How can I do this? I'm not a fortune teller, okay? All I do is readings. I just tap into the energy it feels at that moment in time. When you phrase a question the way you're doing it, you're setting it up for a yes or a no answer, okay? It says here, hello, I am new subscriber. Can you see reconciliation with my husband, please? Lena, do you see how you're putting me in a position where it's either yes, reconciliation, or no, reconciliation? That puts me in the position of being a fortune teller. I don't like to be a fortune teller because that puts me on the spot where I have to answer to your decisions. In other words, let's say I do a mini reading for you and I look at the cards and I say, yes, Lena, you will be reconciled with your husband. It's like what they do on those television tarot channels or those YouTube, $10 a minute, or there's websites with global, worldwide readers. They will take questions like that. I don't take questions like that. I don't think it's fair. So let's say, Lena, if we do a reading in the future, you could put your questions in a different way. It would be something like this. Hey, Tarot Illumination, what messages do you have for me tonight regarding the possibility of reconciliation with my husband? Can you see the difference? It's a question of how you present your question. When you present your question and it looks like it has to have a yes or no answer, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting me up for failure. When you ask the question, hey, Tarot Illumination, what do you see about me and my husband? Now I can help you. You get it? Anyway, let's get back to Melissa. All right, Melissa, what's going on? Lena, are you from India? Pakistan? Something? I'm not really sure. I don't know too much about the names of the culture. I'm just curious. All right, here we go. All right, Melissa, let's see what's going on. Blind is fine. Here we go. I really love doing these blind readings. All right, Melissa, let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Let's have a look at the weather for you. I am going to refer this to the astrology for the moment. Oh, you're in the Maldives. Wow. Wow. Awesome. Tarot Illumination is in the Maldives. Hold on, let me do something here. Give me a second, Melissa. I want to just check out something with Lena. Okay, give me a second here. Just trying to do a little... I want to do something. Hold on. All right. I thought so. Yeah, right in them. Wow. Right in the middle of the ocean. It's so far away. Oh my gosh. Okay, Lena, you're over there in the Maldives. The Maldives are famous like for vacation land. You're way, way out there in the, I think they call it the Indian Ocean. Wow, I would love to visit the Maldives. Okay. All right, let's have a look. Let's see what's going on, Melissa. All right, let's have a look. I'm going to pull up your chart in a moment. Not your chart, but the planets. So we've got the Seven of Swords. Okay, please be careful. What I'm sensing here, there's a kind of a double message here. A double message, Melissa. You've got to be very, very careful right now with whatever it is you're doing in your life regarding communications with other people, interactions with other people, trying to navigate your way through life, which often means relationship dynamics with other people in how you communicate with them, how they communicate with you, so that, okay, I'm just going to point it out here. With the Seven of Swords, this can be, right now, to me, it feels like a warning. Be careful of lies, deception, betrayal, and deceit from outside, especially when it comes from other people. But there's another message here, a deeper secondary message, is that do not apologize for doing whatever you have to do to get done what has to be done to get to the truth of the matter in your life. Okay? And if other people can't handle it, that's their problem. Okay? This Seven of Swords, I think, is relating very closely to the Neptune and Pisces energy, hard squared with Mars in Gemini. The Mars in Gemini energy and the North Node in Gemini represent, let's say, activity, dynamics, forcefulness in communications, intercommunication between yourself and other people, between other people and you. But you have to be aware with this very hard square. This is a hard square. It's a very challenging aspect. Neptune is in Pisces. Very hard squared to Gemini, North Node, and Mars in Gemini. So it's very much about the energy of fraud, deception, betrayal, lies, deceit. So if you're in a situation, Melissa, where your life, your world, people around you are presenting life to you as though it is one way, and they're doing it with a smile on their face, it might be that they are lying or defrauding you. Okay? To me, it looks like you're going to have to be, hold on, give me a second here. It's a precarious card. So with the Seven of Swords there, to me it feels like be on alert. We need to wake up, Melissa. You are on very slippery ground here where it could be very easy for you to get screwed over by other people. Or you could accidentally screw yourself over by believing something that you would like to believe, but which is better that you don't believe. Okay? You have to be very, very careful right now. You might be quite vulnerable to deception, betrayal, lies, treachery, either from yourself onto yourself or especially from others to you. So be very, very careful. All right? All right, let's have a look. What's the situation itself? And with the Eight of Swords. So, Melissa, to me it looks like it's like this being in this state of entanglement. Entanglement where it's almost the more you try to solve whatever problems you're trying to deal with, the harder it gets. It's almost like when you've got I don't know, a piece of old rope or something that's all tied up, a piece of knitting or some kind of personal belongings that are all tangled up with other things, and you try to untangle them, and the more you try to untangle them, the worse it gets. So you have to be very careful. Hold on, Melissa, I just saw something popped up with me. I saw the word PayPal, so that's money, so I have to check that. Chosen by God. I tried to PayPal you, but I can't find your account. Okay, let me go back to the beginning. Just give me a second, Melissa. I'll be right back. Sorry, I want to go over to here. Give me a second. Chosen by God. Oh, God, it's all messed up again. Give me a second. I've got a lot of technical problems here tonight. Okay. So, chosen by God. So you see here, this is the tarotlumination.com website on the donate page. So, in theory, what would happen is you go to the tarotlumination.com website, you click the donate button, and that will bring up the PayPal processor. And the PayPal processor is not much different from when you go to Starbucks or a cafe or a grocery store and you put a card in and you swipe it. If you don't have your own PayPal account, it doesn't matter. You should be able to find a way where you can just use your own card through the account and you just pay by debit or credit. Okay? Oh, wait a minute. It says here, oh, you got it. Hey, Heather, I see you. I see you. All right, let me go back to the reading. Dear chosen by God, I'm going to take your word for it that you got it figured out. Okay? Take care. All right. All right, Melissa, thank you for your patience. Let's get back to your reading. With all these swords here, it looks like a lot of confusion and a little bit of almost like getting to the point of extreme frustration and being caught in a trap of some kind. With the Seven of Swords here, it's a very strong indication that you need to be very careful of information as it comes to you from people, from websites, from television, from YouTube, from children, friends, family, anyone out there who is communicating with you. You have to be aware that whatever is being communicated to you could be just a little bit off from the truth. And at the same time, you have to be very careful that you don't get sucked into a trap of lies, betrayal, deception, and treason, and so on, because it feeds on itself. So when I look at the Eight of Swords here, to me it looks like, it's almost like the feeling of being paralyzed when you're locked in a trap. Like, give me a second. Like with this Eight of Swords, to me it feels like it's like being mentally tied up in knots where, like almost like the more you try to figure out what's going on, to try and understand what's going on, what you end up is more and more trapped into what's not working, and it feeds on itself. Like the more you try to solve the problem intellectually, the worse the problem gets. So you have to be very careful, and then you end up almost like in a state of panic. I don't know if I know the energy of panic. I know what it's like to be absolutely terrified for your life, for your welfare, in case you're going to get raped, assaulted, abused, attacked financially, physically, emotionally by another person or another entity. But you can get to the point where you end up paralyzed. When I look at the Eight of Swords, that tells me a story about the images of being a child and going into these mazes. You know, some amusement grounds or whatever you call them, parks or something, or gardens. Sometimes they have these garden mazes. And a maze is a place where you're supposed to go from A to B. But it's complicated. And then if you do it successfully, you come out the other side. But with the Eight of Swords, what it's telling me is that you're at a point right now where you're stuck in the maze. Okay? You either knowingly or unknowingly, you have entered this maze of confusion where you are aware that you are in a maze. You are aware that you are losing your bearings or you've lost your bearings, and you're aware that it's very difficult to find your bearings again, to come out the other side. So it's almost like being paralyzed in fear, like, let's say you're like a little child and you're in a maze, and you've got 3 doorways in front of you, like, which one am I supposed to choose? If I go down that one, am I going to be lost? If I go down that one, am I going to find the exit and be happy? If I go down that one, am I going to get trapped and stuck forever? I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm sensing here. Mona, hello. I owe you a reading. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so Melissa, this looks like it's really uncomfortable. Okay? What's the problem here? Okay, it looks to me like there might be some confusion about money or jobs or debts or credit cards, or college loans, car payments, savings accounts, planning for the future. To me, it feels like you're in a kind of a panic. Like let's pretend I'm a Melissa. Like it feels to me like you're in a state of panic. What am I going to do about my finances and my future so that I don't have to be in a state of panic? And am I ever going to get a chance? Am I ever going to get a break where I can get out of this confusion and get out of these traps? That to me looks like a deep fear that the sacred energy of opportunity may never come to you. That's understandable, especially if you're paralyzed and caught in a trap. How are we going to deal with this? Pentacles again. Okay, so with the King of Pentacles here, to me it's a really strong message. It's really important that you look at whatever hideous, horrible, nasty, scary things are happening with you in your life, in your world, especially with your finances, jobs, career, savings, whatever it might be, inheritances, credit cards, anything to do with your finances. It's important to look at it as a teaching opportunity, as a learning opportunity, where you have a chance to achieve some form of mastery. Number one, especially if it's regarding finances, it looks like whatever horrible, challenging things are happening for you in your life, in your world, with jobs, career, finances, savings for the future, retirement, whatever it is, anything to do with money, this, however bad it is, it's actually, let's flip this over in a way, it's like this is a chance of sacred opportunity to attain mastery. In other words, it's almost like the worse your problems are, the better chance you're going to have to learn and find ways of mastery regarding finances, personal finances, job, career, money. It doesn't look like it's going to be easy. The King of Pentacles is like a long, hard pathway to being in a position of stability and security and strength and abundance. But it can be done. Of course, not a lot of people want to learn the hard way, but it looks like for you, Melissa, you have a chance to learn the hard way in such a way that however bad things are for you with your life, especially finances, it's almost like there's a silver lining. It's almost like if you look at this in the positive, there really is a chance for you to see a glimpse of new horizons. But it does require focus, attention, and deliberate determination to achieve mastery in terms of career, finance, success, money. Okay, I hope that helps you. Mona, you're up. I already have your card here. I hope you have a bit of time. I'm going to give you your reading right now, and that'll be the end of the show. Hello, Heather, I see you. Let's have a look. Hi, Mona. Hello, Sweden. Sorry, hello, Norway. Hello, Norway. Mona is the representative of Norway. Yay. Thanks for being here, Mona. I'm glad you showed up. I'm just clearing the deck for you, okay, Mona? I hope things are good with your family. We've had some very interesting readings over the years. Every now and again, everybody needs to know, every now and again, Mona shows up and we do readings and all sorts of things like that. Hold on, I got to check something. Sorry, there was a lighting issue. Okay, let's have a look. All right, Mona. In case people don't know, Mona is kind of a reader and a healer in her own right. And her husband is actually an energy healer in his own right. And they have a daughter who is very spiritually aware. Kind of runs in the family, you might say. Thank you, Melissa. I hope that helps you. Sometimes it's a little bit scary when you get an open blind reading. But sometimes it's also very refreshing. Thanks, Melissa. So Mona, just sit back, hang back, enjoy what we got going on here. It is, let's see, it's Wednesday night here in Las Vegas, so it's already Thursday, very early morning for you. My guess is like, what is it, so 5 or 6 a.m.? 5 or 6 a.m. for you, Mona? Mona is saying she's all right. We're all right over here. Much good stuff is happening. Okay, awesome. All right, cards are shuffled, cards are cut. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. This is just for you, Mona. Okay, just for you. I did reports earlier about the astrology. So I've got the 5 of Pentacles here. Now, When I see this for you, Mona, please do not despair. What this is telling me is that it's really important right now that you pay very close attention to your finances. Okay? Pay very close attention to your finances. There's a lot of instability in the world right now. It's all over the world. And you could be affected in any way by surprise. To me, it feels like it's like you need to pay special attention to finances, because you cannot afford to be taken by surprise for anything in your life or world that might make you lose money or lose business or suffer financially, or suffer with the home or the house or the family or your talents or your gifts or your resources. Okay? To me, it's just like, be very, very careful. Pay very close attention to your finances right now, for yourself and for any of your business partners or relationships or in the workplace, okay? Be very careful. All right, let's have a look. What's the situation? More pentacles. We have had a lot of pentacles here tonight. King of Pentacles here. To me, when I see the King of Pentacles here for you in this reading, Mona, it's an indication that it's really, really, really important that you study finances, you learn more and more and more about money and how it works in your life, because you cannot afford to be naive about finances. You cannot afford to, how am I going to say this without hurting your feelings? It's just like, it's almost like whatever you know about finances, whatever you've learned about finances, money, jobs, career, business, marketing, whatever, you cannot afford to be innocent or naive. You can't plead ignorance. You cannot look to heaven and say, well, I didn't know. It wasn't my fault that things went bad with the finances, jobs, career, money, whatever. It doesn't matter. Ignorance is not an excuse for you in this situation. Instead, when I see the King of Pentacles here, if there's anything that's, let's say, challenging or difficult in your life, your world, your family, career, all of that, with finances, it's like you have to look at it. You have to look at it, and you have to take charge. You have to take complete ownership, like being like the boss of a corporation. Imagine that you were the boss of the corporation. It's like Mona Berknes Corporation, and you see that there's something wrong. And you have to go, okay, we need a meeting. Everybody who's involved, we need a meeting. We've got to sort out the finances. And someone has to do it. Someone has to take charge. Someone has to be responsible. Looks like you. Okay, that's a tough job. That is a tough gig. Okay? Hold on, it's chosen by God said something. Give me a second. I need to check in with something here. I'm going to go to Chosen. Yep, looks good. Patricia, if that's you, we look good. Everything's looking good. Yeah. Chosen by God, if that's you, Patricia, yeah, we look good. Alright, so, Mona. To me, it looks really serious. It looks really, really important. Maybe you weren't expecting this in a reading. Maybe you didn't want to hear this. But finances are very important right now. And even more important is that you take charge. You make it your business to make sure that everything is sorted out with your finances. The King of Pentacles here is the energy of mastery. And the energy of mastery in finances doesn't mean that you are a very good gambler. It means that you know how to solve the problems that stop you from growing with your funds and your money and your wealth and your abundance. So it looks to me that the message here is very clear that there are things that are not working for you in your world, your life, your business, your career, your jobs, your family, regarding finances overall. And all of that usually involves relationships between employers, banks, the government, friends, family, and yourself, managing your own finances. So the situation now is finances are very important, and you need to pay very close attention. You need to take charge, and you need to get things in order. What's the problem here? I don't know if there's some kind of okay, so I've got the Four of Wands. To me, my first impression here, Mona, is that you really, really want things to work out for everybody. Not just for you, not your husband, not just your daughter, but for everybody in a way that you can all enjoy things together. Okay, so with the Four of Wands, to me this feels like, it's like this. It would be so nice if we could get organized, take care of business, finances, friends, family, husband, daughter, extended family, everything. We get it all organized so that we can actually celebrate and enjoy our abundance together. But when I see the Four of Wands in that position, it feels to me that you are frightened that you might not get those things that you deserve because there's too much fragility, too much chaos, too much uncertainty in the world of finances. And we all know that it feels really, really good when you have your finances in order. Your personal finances, your family finances, your marriage finances, your business finances, your investments for the future. It feels really, really good when you've got that stuff organized. And what this reading is telling me is that it's really important for you to get organized such a way that you can enjoy the benefits of friends and family when you do have things organized. Okay? I mean, I can relate to it myself. Okay, I see your notes, Mona. It came up with you in a dream last night. Money, yes. And you're always the boss of money. Okay, that's good. But we have to take it to the next level. Because it feels to me here that however good you are with finances and business and money, we need to go to the next level. We need to get really, really on top of things, okay? Otherwise, friends and family, they suffer, okay? And one of the most delicious, wonderful things you can do when you've got your finances in order and things are working properly with family, business, jobs, career, savings, retirement, debts, monthly payments, yearly payments, all your bills for electricity, gasoline, whatever it is. When you have that in order and everything is in order, then it's possible to enjoy things in the family. But when it's not in order, then it becomes very difficult. So it feels to me like it's really, really important to focus on finances more than ever before. How do we deal with this? Okay, with the tower here, Mona, to me it looks like you might have to be kind of ruthless. It's like, don't take it personally, but when you start to take charge and be the boss of your finances and you go to the next level, it looks like you have to make very tough decisions to completely eliminate, destroy, completely get rid of anything and everything that does not work. Okay? So, for example, if you, Mona, if you have been very tolerant of things like, okay, we can deal with this, we can deal with that, it's okay, we'll sort the money out. No, you can't do that anymore. It's time to draw a really firm line, like basically saying, we're not going to do anything that does not work. So that's a very negative way of saying, the only things we're going to do now going forward are things that work. The things that work are the things that bring financial rewards, benefits, growth for me, Mona, my husband, my daughter, my family. We're only going to do things that work. If there are things that can work or look like they're going to work, we will focus on that too. But anything and everything that is not working, it has to go. For example, if you have credit card debt, you have to get rid of that. If you've got college debt, if you've got all sorts of financial burdens that you're carrying, that it's like it's holding you back, it has to stop. So it looks to me like you have to do a very serious, ruthless examination of your finances, your family finances. It doesn't have to be mean or nasty or horrible. It just means you have to deal with the financial realities of life. This is not working. 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 It either has to go or we have to fix it. This is working, this is working, this is working, this is working, this is working. Let's play to our strengths and make that work for us. Okay? It's really, it's just about taking charge, okay? Okay, so I see your notes there, Mona. No, Mona, nobody likes it in their life when money becomes an issue. Everybody hates worrying about money. A lot of people fool themselves about money. They think, oh, I can just do this, buy that. Credit card, credit card, credit card, credit card, loan, 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 mortgage, 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 whatever. That's a pathway to disaster. It looks to me, Mona, like what needs to happen is a really good old-fashioned reality check about money, where for you and yourself, like you said, you're too kind. That has to stop. You cannot afford to be too kind. You can afford to be kind, but you cannot afford to be too kind, because that means you're draining your energy. You're giving away your energy. That's not healthy. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. The most important thing is for you to be financially healthy, solid, secure, and strong. That's the best thing you can be for yourself, for your relationships, husband, business, job, career, daughter, all of that. Extended family, all of it. Okay? If you hate credit cards, and if you have credit cards, you have to find a way to get rid of it. Get rid of debt. Debt is evil. Debt will kill you. So, Mona, it's time to take charge. Really take charge of your finances, okay? Ruthless. You have to be absolutely ruthless. The Tower card is saying, get rid of anything and everything that is not working. Okay? There you go. Alright, that's it, folks. I can't handle any more tonight. I'm just going to shuffle this up and clear it for the next time. Alright, that'll work. Thank you, Mona. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mona. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Chosen by God. Thank you, Ivona. Thank you all so much. It makes a huge difference over here, I have to tell you. Take care of yourselves. Love thyself. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up right now. I wish I could play my song The Perfect Time, but I don't have it I don't have it produced. It costs so much money to produce music, and I just don't have it. So I'm just going to play something else. I'm going to play something really simple. This sounds like it's about physical healing, but it's actually financial healing, okay? It's called I Am Healing. Okay? Here we go. It sounds like this.